Good morning. I'm Carolyn Gonot, General Manager and CEO of Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority. In less than 3 weeks, VTA will be moving record-breaking crowds to one of the biggest sporting events on the planet, Super Bowl 60, right here at Levi Stadium. Today is about excitement, preparation, and confidence because VTA is ready. As a public transit agency serving Levi Stadium, we're incredibly proud to welcome the world to Silicon Valley and get fans to and from the game safely, smoothly, and stress-free. Behind me is the Super Bowl themed light rail train, and it says what we're feeling. This is a big moment, and we are fully invested in making this a success. Actually, the light rail train is over there. Sorry about that. I'm not in the right spot. We started planning for this event 2 years ago, the moment Levi Stadium was named host. And we know what it takes. We have taken every lesson we learned from serving Super Bowl 50 10 years ago and built it even stronger, smarter, and have a more efficient plan for Super Bowl 60. Our major focus has been readiness, our people, our vehicles, and our system. We've trained operators nonstop, graduating new classes every few months. Our light rail fleet has been fully maintained and ready to perform. We'll run 22 extra light rail trains in addition to our regular service. Most will be 3-car trains carrying about 450 fans each straight to the stadium. We've tuned up the system from top to bottom, repaired tracks, eliminated slow zones, fixed ticket machines, and information displays, and made sure stations are clean, welcoming, and game day ready. We've also have 100 game day ambassadors on the ground helping fans navigate the system, backed by clear signage and real-time information on our service. We expect to carry about 25,000 fans to and from the game, more than we moved during the Taylor Swift concerts in 2023, and that's historic ridership. When the game ends, we'll be using a different plan than we've used before, designed to move fans out fast. Trains will depart from 2 stations, depending on where people are headed, cutting wait times in half and getting people home quicker. Fans headed back to downtown San Jose or Milpitas BART station will exit the stadium through Toyota Gate F to the Lick Mill station. Those who are heading to the west and towards the Caltrain station and headed up to the peninsula to San Francisco will exit through the Intel Gate 8 to the Great America station. And I want to remind our passengers, our regular passengers, that we will still be running regular service for everyone else. So about 90% of our light rail resources will be in operation that day. Our goal, once again, is to move people safely, smoothly, and reliably, whether they're headed to the Super Bowl or traveling elsewhere on our system. We're ready for Super Bowl 60. We're proud to support it, and we're excited to make this an unforgettable day for all in our region. And so today I also have a couple specific areas I want us to cover. One is our on safety, and the other is on how we're going to move people and people are able to get their tickets. So first, I'd like to introduce our Chief Officer of System Safety, Aston Green.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy to have your attention today. And as Carolyn mentioned, I'm VTA's Chief for System Safety and Security, and very excited about all of the preparedness activity that we've engaged in for over 2 years now, getting for this momentous occasion. So as you know, Super Bowl 60 is an exciting time for fans and even for our employees. We're football fans too. But we make no mistake about what our mission is as we approach the big game. It is safety and security of our passengers and our employees. And that's been the substance of our training for the past 2 years. So VTA, to that end, is working closely with local, state, and federal security partners to ensure coordinated region-wide approaches, right? That is what is known as the National Incident Management System, the Security Emergency Management System, protocols and procedures. Essentially, this is a team effort, and transit safety does not stop at agency boundaries. VTA has a comprehensive emergency management plan as well, in which we place specifically designed skill sets just for these large events. And we've been studying and practicing this plan and its execution, as I said, for over 2 years. In addition to that, VTA is moving forward with its very first fully functional emergency operations center. The focus of that emergency operations center is to monitor conditions, coordinate responses, and share real-time information. We are executing this plan again as practice. We've had at least 2 tabletop exercises that are compliant with DHS standards on the function of our EOC alone. So in the past year, in addition to those trainings, we've had multiple trainings and planning sessions and exercises to prepare staff for these large events and their impacts over the 10-day period. So our teams have trained for this and tested our systems and refined our responses. In addition to that, VTA cybersecurity teams especially are working around the clock to prevent, detect, respond to cyber threats that could impact our service. Because safety today includes protecting technology that keeps our system moving as well. In addition to that, VTA has recognized and prioritized human trafficking awareness as part of our training programs. It was just over 10 years ago, before Super Bowl 50, that we started training our frontline workers to be able to detect signs of human trafficking and report it. And this past October, we helped to sponsor with the South Bay Coalition a human trafficking conference just to be able to help promote these important messages and skill sets. And 3 months ago, VTA hosted transit agencies and law enforcement survivor advocates to heighten the awareness of crime, which often kind of increases around these Super Bowl activities and games and special events. So we've been taking really a 360-degree view for all of the things that could impact our service, our operations, potentially causing disruption, impacting our passengers and our employees. And the goal in all of that training is early recognition, clear reporting steps, and executing rapid responses. Transit employees and riders can expect to see extra eyes and ears from our security teams. The Sheriff's Transit Patrol remains VTA's primary law enforcement partner. And for Super Bowl weekend, VTA is expanding coordination with multiple state and federal partners. That includes our private security patrols as well, which will be stationed throughout our system. So all that means is that, yes, passengers will see an increased security presence across our buses, our trains, our platforms, stations, etc. But I want to be clear that safety and security, as VTA sees it, is not about anything related to immigration status. I want to put that out there. VTA does not get involved with any immigration authorities, and we do not expect there to be any immigration enforcement activities in and around our system. So that's one of the values of having the close coordination with our federal partners, so that we can make sure that our system remains accessible to all, so that we can keep the large crowds moving to and fro all of these wonderful Super Bowl events that we expect to happen. And in addition to that, we do have a protocol so that if there is any ICE presence on VTA buses or our trains, our operators are notified to contact our Operations Control Center, which gets in touch with our 911 center. And we'll also be sharing that information with our federal and state partners so that we can remain coordinated. So all that to say, riders still are a key component of our safety and security ecosystem. And we encourage them to download our VTA Alerts app for safety and security updates and things that might impact their service. So the VTA Alerts app is available in Android and iOS platforms. So we encourage you to download that as quickly as possible before game day. And the point of all of that is that we want to instill the messaging that if you see something, we expect you to say something, and you can act quickly and make those reports very easily. That gets right to our security and our law enforcement professionals. So finally, I want to emphasize that it is a team and collaborative effort with our employees and our riders, and we are excited about the shared responsibility, and we look forward to having really wonderful game day celebrations. Thank you. Carolyn?
Thank you, Aston. And I know there'll be a number of events throughout the weekend and throughout the week, and we plan on having Safety as a priority throughout that time frame, and Aston's team is on that as well. Now I'd like to introduce Dina Guevara, our marketing manager, to talk about activities and particularly how to get around our system.
Thank you, Carolyn. 2 years ago, my hair was all dark. My name is Dina Guevara. I'm the marketing manager at the Valley Transportation Authority, and my job is to let everyone know that we are ready. VTA bus and light rail service are ready. VTA staff members are ready today to take you to the game. If Aston or Carolyn call an audible, if they call an Omaha, we are still ready. We are using every tool we have to ensure that transit is prepared, we are reliable, and we are running game day smart plays. Those tools we have, you see, are the light rail train wrap, the bus wrap, all indicating to take VTA to the game. We are blitzing big time. We are using social media, digital media. We have branded signage and wayfinding at select light rail stations, at the Mountain View Light Rail Station, the Deardown Light Rail Station, as well as the Milpitas Light Rail Station, informing everyone to take VTA to the game. Our focus is to ensure that everyone has a great game day experience. VTA is the easier and safer way to get to the game and all events around it, including SJ26 events happening throughout downtown San Jose. If you're riding VTA during Super Bowl weekend, we urge you to plan ahead. First, we encourage everyone to visit our website, our awesome website, vta.org/SBLX. On the website, you will have maps, you will have schedules, you will have fare information about our free park and ride lots, as well as regional transit information. As an example, those taking Caltrain can connect to VTA at the Mountain View Light Rail Station. Those taking BART could connect to VTA at the Milpitas Light Rail Station. Secondly, we urge everyone to use Transit app. Download Transit app, because on Transit app, you have all the information at your fingertips. You will have real-time information, service alerts, and most importantly, step-by-step instructions on how to get to Levi Stadium. You can even have in real time the passenger count on the trains themselves. And now for Super Bowl 60, we have activated on Transit app the ability for you to buy fare in one screen. VTA is offering a special one-day fare on Caltrain and VTA for the cost of $27.50. Takes you to the game and back on Caltrain and VTA. This mobile fare option is the best way to pay for transit on that day. That one device allows on one screen to pay not only for you, but also be proof of fare for one or more individuals. If you have 5 people, if you have 10 people, that one phone will be your valid fare. No need for a card for each person. No need to tap on or tap off. Just show your mobile fare and you're good to go. If you're using VTA on game day, there are also fare options for you. You could use the Clipper card on your digital wallet or use a contactless bank card to pay for fare. Tap once prior to boarding and you're good to go. On game day, VTA staff will be available to answer questions as well as navigate the system for you. So key reminders, 3 key reminders. Plan ahead. Pay your fare and trip plan on transit. And lastly, if you have need for more information, call our customer service line at 408-321-2300. So those are our plans to get thousands of you to the game. And like I said, if Aston or Carolyn are calling Omaha, we are still ready. So Carolyn, Aston, and I are happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
So this is the first of major events in 2026 in Silicon Valley, where VTA will be moving thousands and thousands of people around. So we are very happy to take any questions at this time, and I'm open to those as this time.
So you can't control whether immigration agents come on board your trains or your buses. Have you got any word that they will be here? The president announced that he will be here. Repeat the question.
Yeah, can you repeat the question? Need to repeat that question. Can you say it again?
You can't control whether ICE or immigration agents board your trains or buses, right?
We don't control what the immigration agents do. We only can prepare and know how we are going to respond, and to train for how we will respond, and to make sure that our goal is to get our passengers safely to where they need to go. That is our response. Aston?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. We see law enforcement activity in and around our system. That happens on a regular basis. It might be another jurisdiction. So it's no different here. When we see those incidents, we immediately take stock of what impacts it has to our service. We make sure we are customer centered so that we could, either reroute or find some other ways to keep our service operational. That would be the focus for any activity, for any incident, whether it's this law enforcement agency or another.
So the president said that they would be here. Have you got any word?
No, we won't. We don't have that interaction. They don't necessarily share, or would we expect them to share that intelligence with a local transit agency, quite honestly, or local law enforcement for that matter. So what we would base our actions and our responses on what we see on the ground, and that is a customary response and position that we would normally take. Okay.
Aston, as a follow-up, if you don't mind, my name's Joseph. I'm with KPD.
Hey, Joseph. Yes.
Just, kind of what Danny is asking here. We've been told by local leaders that there are these federal coordinators that have worked, 10 years ago and again this year have been working quite closely with local law enforcement.
Yes.
I heard you mention, federal partners.
Yes.
So, is your agency asking to get that information? And does your agency plan to say you find out there is an ICE operation happening on a VTA line that day, are you guys going to put out a tweet? Are you going to alert the community? Or
Yeah.
are you going to just, worry about the train schedule only?
Yeah, obviously our focus is on transit. I think there would be a lot of public notice if some of those activities were to occur. Communication for who, where, what, and when, and how that's happening wouldn't be our responsibility. But you're absolutely right. There is a federal security coordinator that's assigned to this region, and we will have a regional coordination center in which all of those individuals, our law enforcement and security representatives in that area as well, will be able to communicate with each other. But our primary focus would be to make sure that the VTA transit system, our buses, our light rail vehicles remain operational.
But they're not sharing any immigration plans or enforcement with you?
No, federal agencies and law enforcement agencies like the FBI, CIA, ICE, DHS, they typically do not share their operational information with local agencies unless they're involved in some joint operation.
Thank you.
Okay? Any other questions related to that matter? All right, hearing none, I'll turn it back over to Carolyn.
What about lessons learned from the last Super Bowl that we had? Were there any sort of pain points or things that you looked at and said, we need to improve upon?
I'm gonna introduce Larry Bourgeois, who is our lead. He's the superintendent for operations, and he is our lead for all coordination with the Super Bowl activities for VTA. Larry, and I know we have a playbook, so we actually use the playbook from Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, so good morning. My name is Larry Bodgman. I'm the project manager for 2026 special events. So the question is lessons learned from our events. We take each and every of our events very seriously, whether it's a Taylor Swift or any other event. And one of the lessons learned was that last time for Super Bowl 50, I was here for Super Bowl 50, our trains were not able to go through freely even during the week. So on Saturday itself, we had to shut down our service. However, for this time around, we worked with NFL security And for the week leading up to Super Bowl, we are able to operate our rail service uninterrupted. And it's only on game day that our service will be turning back at the Lick Mill and Great America stations. So that was one thing to make sure that our regular patrons are not affected. We made that change this time around. Thank you.
I do think one of the changes has been that the BART system did not come into Santa Clara County last time. So we are expecting that transfer point to be different for us, which actually will help us this time, and not as much bus service will need to be sent into Fremont area. So that will actually be
Picking up approximately 13,000 passengers one way. So total we are expecting about 25 to 26K, and that'll be our highest ridership. It's going to be more than the Taylor Swift, which was our highest for now.
Larry, can you address the egress plan and the fact that it'll be a little bit easier to get out because people will be leaving from two different stations?
Yes, so one of the major differences for our egress plans for our regular game days and Super Bowl is that for our regular game days, we are only using the Great America station to serve all three lines. So all the three lines, whether you're going towards Mountain View, Milpitas BART station, or towards downtown, you only have the Great America station. For Super Bowl 60, we'll have two different stations where the Great America station will only be focused on moving passengers towards Mountain View. The Lick Mill westbound platform will be used to move passengers to Milpitas BART, and the Lick Mill eastbound platform will be used to move passengers towards downtown and Winchester. And what that'll do is that it'll help us move passengers a lot quicker and a lot safer. It'll eliminate any confusion that could happen by using just one station.
I was just going to ask if, there's been reporting in the past couple of weeks about the much higher anticipated cost for World Cup events and how VTA is seeking some reimbursement for the state for that. I'm curious if VTA plans to seek any reimbursement for the roughly $4 million added cost for these extra services that are being run for the Super Bowl.
for the Super Bowl. Yeah, why don't you
Whether
talk?
that
Because
be a-
most of it is around the security as well as some operations, but I'll have Aston talk about this area.
Yeah, as it pertains to FIFA, we are expected to submit for what was called the FEMA grant program that was announced last October. We're considered a subrecipient, and so we do have costs that we would submit for that grant. If we are awarded, that would be the reimbursable grant program that we would seek to get our recovery costs. Because as you could imagine, yes, the costs for law enforcement, the cost for security, the cost to support the technologies, those were unanticipated costs. And so we would love to be an award recipient for those funds to get that reimbursement.
But for the Super Bowl, no such program or no appeals to the NFL or to the state or to anybody else?
Well, very interesting you say that. So we are currently undergoing what is called the Homeland Security Exercise and Training Program. So all of our trainings that are a tabletop exercise, a functional exercise, are for large-scale events. So based on the way the grant guidance was written, it means all of our trainings since July of last year for these large events were all eligible expenses. And so that would be inclusive of training that was really geared toward the next major event, which is the Super Bowl, but that training was applicable to FIFA World Cup games as well.
Got it. So you'll
Okay.
be able to essentially cover some of that potentially if you're awarded that.
That would be part of our application, indeed.
And am I hearing you both correctly that the nearly $4 million in cost, a lot of it is all in that, wrapped up in that, not so much in the actual extra personnel for trains?
No, so there's a difference, right? There's some costs, operational costs, but the FEMA grant program was very, very specific for law enforcement and security. And that, unfortunately, honestly, that was the largest allocation of funds that we got as a grant program from the federal government.
Thank you.
Okay?
So, to address some of the areas around revenues for during Super Bowl, one of the areas that we have actually moved forward on much more aggressively this year particularly for Super Bowl and during FIFA, is our advertising. So more of our assets are open for advertising revenue, and we are seeing an increase, potentially a doubling of our advertising revenue on some of the assets that we have that are available during this time frame, because of the market that is coming in throughout the county, downtown and other areas. So we are doing that as well. The other area is really pushing on the fare collection. I think this is an area of lessons learned from Super Bowl 50, is being able to collect the revenue in terms of encouraging round trip tickets, those types of things that we would want to be able to collect revenue for all the fares, because it does get crowded on coming out, and being able to do that either through a token transit or whatever, and throughout the week. So fare collection is a priority for us, and making that as easy as possible. Many people don't mean not to pay fare. It's just not always easy to see it or to know how to do that in the various ways that people are moving about. So to make it much more easier for people to be able to do that. So fare collection and advertising revenue are a big area for us that we don't have that opportunity to do at other times.